Hey guys, what's up? It's me again. So I'm just going to show you how I would do my Valentine's Day look. I did my eyebrows already just because I feel like everybody has a different routine. So right now I am just prepping my eyes with the Tarte Shape tape in light neutral and blending that in with a beauty blender just because I think that the Tarte Shape tape is light enough where I can blend out my eyeshadows pretty easily on there. Next, I am just setting that with the Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie Single Eyeshadow, and I'm going to do that on both eyes just to make my transition shades go on easier and so that they're more pronounced. Alright, now I'm using my Morphe and Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette. As my first transition shade, I'm going to use the lightest brown in there, which is a Silk Cream. It's a third eyeshadow on the top. And I'm going to buff that in a little bit all over, but mainly going on the outside corners of both eyes. Alright, using that same Sigma E40, I am going to be using MFEO. It's the transition shade right next to it, and it's just a little more brown. So I'm slowly building up that transition color. I don't want to use just one color. I really want to make it a nice gradient for when we go in with that mauve later on. Okay, now I'm going in with the shade Butter. Again, that's going to be a little more brown. Like I said, we are building a gradient. I'm going to be using the Morphe M513. It's going to be a little smaller, but just as fluffy, just so we can concentrate it more on those outer corners. Now going in with my Morphe M433, I'm going in the shade Roxanne. So I'm slowly changing my tapered brushes to make them smaller but still fluffy enough where I can get that color and make it more focused towards the crease and outer corner. Using an E17, I'm going to be using the color Hunts. That's going to set the base and the tone for when we go with our darker wine mauve color. That's going to be the main accent of this look. Okay, now I'm using a clean M441 from Morphe. Since we went from an orange to a brown, I want to try and make that gradient better by mixing those colors into a smoother transition. Alright, now time for the main event. I'm going to be using Jax, and I'm going to be using a Morphe B18 because it goes into a point. I'm going to use that to really focus the color directly in my crease while still slightly blending it out to blend in with the other colors. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead in a little bit straight to my primer. I'm not going to show how I did my eyeliner or put on my false lashes because some people might not even want to put on false lashes or have different ones that they want to put for this look. So I did the Allura Lite in House of Lashes in case you're curious. And then my eyeliner is the Kat Von D Trooper Black Tattoo Liner. And then I'm using the Cooling Peach mattifying primer from Too Faced, and then I'm going in with the Smashbox Primer water just to make my face matte and not shiny for when I go in with my foundation. And yes, I do like to put a lot on. It's basically like taking an extra shower, but it's mainly just because it feels so refreshing on the face. And now I'm going in with the YSL the All Hours foundation. I'm in the shade VR20, which is cool ivory. I have slight yellow undertones to neutral. So I'm going to put that all over the face, and I'm using another Morphe brush, surprise, surprise. I'm using the round one, which is called the M439. I'm going to buff that in all over the face and down the neck and through the sides of the ear. Just make sure it's blended all over and we don't have any harsh lines. Moving on, I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light. I'm going a little bit closer to my skin tone just because I feel personally after I bake and everything, it's just so whitewashed under my eyes that I like to stick closer to my skin tone, but still a little bit lighter to give highlight. So I'm going down the bridge of my nose, forehead, under the eyes, chin, basically everywhere that you want to stand out when you contour. I'm also going to do my smile lines just to make sure that they don't peek through. Okay, now I'm going in with my Anastasia Stick Foundation in the shade Shadow. It is a contour stick. I don't cream contour every day. I just do it on special occasions like Valentine's Day where I really want to look good in the luminescent light of, let's say, a restaurant. Hopefully he brings me to the movies, just because at the end of the day, it'll probably look oily and I'll look gross, and obviously it's Valentine's Day, so I want to look hot AF. Okay, now I'm using an E8 and I'm going to just buff that into the skin and mix it in with my foundation just to make it a natural contour. So we are going to be wearing a lot of makeup. It is glam, so I'm just skipping ahead just to show you that I did do that all over the face, mixing it in and making sure that it's a natural. And now I am going to be baking, so I'm taking the wet side of my beauty blender and I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. Again, just because I don't want to be whitewashed under my eyes, I am taking this one. It does have a yellow undertone that I love, so I'm going to go under the eyes, down the sides of the nose to contour my nose a little bit, down the smile lines, my forehead. I do have a line on my forehead for some reason, so I do like to bake on my forehead, and then the chin strap, just to make my contour a little bit sharper later on during the night. I do look really funny every time I do this. I always laugh when I look at myself. So I'm just going to go ahead and let that sit once I'm done putting it everywhere. I'm going to have it sit for about 5-10 minutes, let my camera battery charge, and then I'll be back to take it all off. Okay, so I totally didn't notice that the lighting stick was just sticking out in the screen, so I do apologize about that. Totally didn't notice until now, but I'm just taking a big fluffy E41 from Morphe just to wipe all of that away. It is a really soft brush, so I do really like that to take off the powder. Okay, now I'm going in with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in Light Bronzer with my Morphe R2 brush, and I am just going to contour like a 3. I'm going to go the forehead, the temple, and then under the cheekbone just to make everything stick out and to structure out that face a little bit and sculpt out what I want. Then I'm going to be using that very same Physicians Formula and then the Expert Concealer brush from Real Techniques, just to go down the sides of my nose and around my nose. I am French, I have a big nose, I deal with it, you can deal with it. So I really didn't notice how many Morphe products I was using during this video. I do apologize about it. I genuinely do like all of these products. Generally, I like to use a lot of different brands, but I guess in this one, just all happen to be Morphe. So I'm just going to be spraying their continuous setting mist all over the face to make it stickier for when I go in with that highlighter later on. Alright, next using a Too Faced bronzer, I'm going to using my Morphe R10 and just going over where I contour just to make it sharper. All products will be listed down below. So here I kind of forgot what product to use, but now I'm going in with my highlighter. I'm using a Morphe brush again, going in with an Hourglass, and then on top of that a MAC highlighter. Again, all of the products will be listed in the down bar, but I like mixing these two highlighters just because it gives that pop of highlight. It's so beautiful, especially when you want to go glam. Alright, I zoomed you guys in because I'm going to be doing my under eye. I'm using the Morphe E18 and going in with the same palette with the shade Pooter. And then I'm going in with that same shade Jax that we use, the same brush, and I'm just going to be darkening up that under eye just to make it match the top. I did just want to quickly mention that my nose contour looks very orange and brown, but in person it was blended a lot better. It's just the lighting that's in the film. Alright, now I'm going in with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Poured Cream in the shade Opal, and I'm going to be using this with a Morphe M13, and I really love this just because I feel like it doesn't move throughout the day around the eye area. I love using a poured highlighter, and then I'm using the Blush X-Rated by Kylie. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and of course leave comments down below.